broadcasting on a special night due to the fact that last night we couldn't get through. There was technical difficulty in the broadcasting of the show, uh, cable differences and problems. Things like this happen. So I decided to do this broadcast, very important broadcast tonight, because a lot of people, when I posted it, a lot of people, wanted to know about it. A lot of people wanted to listen in on the topic here. What State of Mental Radio, my thoughts were on it, because the show is becoming very popular. I say it's the thinkers show. It's the show of the intelligent people who don't want to turn on nonsense and listen to a lot of people playing music and cursing and acting like savages and acting like a bunch of, just no nonsense. Something that'll really make you think. And I wanted to touch on this topic because, you have a future race of our people coming up, black men, coming up in the world, and we trying to figure out what this phenomenon is with black males today, should I say black men today. And, it's linked to a lot of how they're raised. And it's not looked at a lot. It's not talked about enough. It's not examined enough. And we're going to do that tonight. Like I said, I'm a little bit off tonight, but I'm going to catch up to the speed of things because, like I said, it's kind of an off night for me. I really didn't expect to do this. I was going to hold this off until Monday, and, I'd usually get up to speed around that time. But, you all here that are listening, I'm going to gear myself up. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mental Radio. Tonight, we're going to discuss the new effeminate black males. Not black men, black males. This is what has replaced black men. You don't see what we were privy to seeing, those of us who were raised up, 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, under our fathers, those of us who had fathers in the household. You don't see the same type of men anymore. Men who worked, men who took care of their families. I mean, the black man, they left their families and did things back then, but there was a different kind of black man. Anyone can see the difference between then and now. The type of black men, or should I say black males, that are coming up in the society. And, as I'm watching it, as we're going out and we're promoting the State of Mental, the Supermen, Superwomen project, you get to talk to people and you get to see the mentality of people, and you just start to, get a feel for people and realize certain things, that something like this, the State of Mental that we're promoting, which is I always refer to as our Nation of Islam in this new millennium, our Garvey movement, our thing for the people who were born 1970 and after. This is our thing. Our flag has to be raised. We have to do something for our generation, something that will distinguish us as a new black men, a new group of black men, and a new group of black women. We have to come into our own. And trying to establish this with people born 1970 and after, 42 years and down, is very hard. Very hard, especially with the men, or should I say the black males. Because in the old movements, there was an element, in the Freemasonry and the Moorish science and Islam under the Nation of Islam and things like that. The last millennium organizations, Garvey's movement, the UNIA. There was a sense of black manhood there. There was a sense of black manhood. There was a sense of brotherhood, a sense of togetherness amongst black men back then. Not so now. That is not the case. When we talk to a lot of black males, I'm not going to say black men because this group of males that we have that have replaced the black men, they are anything but, or anything, they've fallen short of what it is to be men in this society. Basically, men who stand up for things, who stood for something in the past. You don't see that today in black males. The black men have been replaced with black males purposely. people who stand for nothing, people who are focused on nothing, people who are strong about nothing. It's just a bunch of confusion, a bunch of weakness, a bunch of lukewarm, spineless beings. Damn near asexual. Now, I said you don't have to be effeminate. You don't have to be a homosexual to be effeminate in your mannerisms, in your thinking, in your interaction with people. You see that a lot in the black males today. And I don't care if you're 40 years old. It's even in our generation, some even 50, but it starts to kind of tear off. But in the 50s, even on down, you start to see this weakness in black males who were supposed to be growing into black men. Who were supposed to naturally grow into black men at the rearing of fathers and mothers who were planted, who had the mentality of black men and black women planted in them. And you don't see that. Why? It can all be traced back to one thing. And now, when I say this, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not blaming the black woman. I'm just stating the fact. The majority of the black males today, due to their rearing, the majority of them being reared by single mothers, helped to bring about this effeminate nature in them. There was a bonding process, and I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father. I had my father in my life, and I was happy because I always said my mother could not have raised me and my brother, and we had two sisters. She couldn't have raised us alone. And I told her this, because one day she was kind of getting at my father, talking about the things he did. But I always remembered him being a strong father in my life. And had I not had him in my life, I would have been dead right now. I would have gotten into all kinds of trouble. I mean, I got into trouble later on in my life, but never under his watch, never on his watch. He taught me what it was to be a man, what it was to be responsible, what it was to be strong. Our bonding time consisted of us going out, when, I was able to get haircuts, and he'd take me to get haircuts by his barber. We'd all get me and my brother and him would go out and get father and son haircuts. I remember those days. His barber's name was Mo, old school guy, used to cut our hair. And it still resonates with me as our bonding time as fathers and sons. Males in this generation, due to the fact that they don't have fathers, real men to rear them into manhood, don't develop that in themselves. They are raised by women. And women, though I know you are forced to be, a lot of times things go wrong with the child's father, you're forced to be in that predicament. You didn't expect it. I'm not saying it's your fault. You have to raise your children. But keep in mind, women do not know instinctively how to raise men. They don't, because they're not men. Women start off instinctively knowing how to raise females, girls. And when they do certain things to the boys, because they're not instinctively keyed in on raising boys into men, they do things like let their hair grow long, braid their hair, dread their hair, put earrings in the boys' ears, even if it's just one, sometimes two. That's because you are subconsciously geared to raising female children, girls. So you start to subconsciously effeminize the boys because you were used to, or you understand what would look good on a girl. So it translates into that boy. And a lot of women, when I put that there, I said, about women putting braids in the boys' hair and, putting twists and all this stuff, letting the boys' hair grow long. A lot of women who had dreads and, women who have long hair who don't see anything wrong with it, they said they got at me real hard. They got mad. They was like, oh, that's not the reason. I don't agree. But they never gave a real answer. They never gave a real logical reason why they disagreed. They just say disagreed because obviously it was a personal thing. You understand? It was a personal thing. And when you personalize things, You can't logically sit back and look at what's being said. You can't logically analyze a statement because it's touching you personally. But it's not about you personally. It's about what's logical and what's factual. You're doing things, you're putting energy into a boy child that you would put into a female or a girl child, and you're rearing him like a little female. You're allowing him to do things. You're breeding a mentality in him, which you see in a lot of young black men that is effeminate, that's catty. You notice black men are spoiled. Young black boys are spoiled. They don't have a real strong check on their emotions, which is why you see a lot of young black men today, they kill each other in the streets without even thinking about it because they have emotional problems. You know, they have temper tantrums. They don't have their emotions in check, much like women who are not in control. A lot of times women are not in control of their emotions. And a real woman would be the first to admit that. So what does she do? She breeds that in boys. All right? Used to be a time when the fathers raised the sons. What did the fathers teach them? Teach the sons to knuckle up. We would just have fist fights to settle our differences, or whatever. Nobody ended up dead. When I came up, my father would send me down, and he had me boxing with him and stuff like that, or teaching me how to defend myself. Now young black men just shoot each other in the street because of their emotional problems, which they inherit from mothers, from women. They don't know how to cope or deal with being challenged. So they react like women. They react like females. They do or let their emotions run unchecked. Okay? It even goes over into how they deal with females when they get with them, when they get the women pregnant, when they don't live up to their responsibilities of being fathers because they didn't have any fathers in their lives to show them. They had their mothers. They had their mothers who they might have heard complaining about men or about the fathers who were not really in their lives, or just talking about men in general in a bad way. So this went over into their mentality. This made them irresponsible. This made them not stand up as men. Women sit up there and say, I don't know why my son is like that. When, he doesn't take care of his children. He's just out here making babies, irresponsible. A powerful line was said in The Godfather. I remember this movie. I remember this line very well. In the movie The Godfather, the mafia boss, Don Vito Corleone, said, women and children can afford to be careless, not men. Women and children can afford to be careless, not men. And I know some women say, well, I can't be careless because I got to take care of my children and things like that. And you are right. You have to. You can't be careless in this time because, if you're a single mother, you have to take care of your children. However, you can't deny that men have to be the strongest ones in this messed up world. They have to be responsible. They have to lead or, stand forward and stand firm in rearing a family. And in order to put you all on an equal footing together, in order to bring about a buoyancy or bring about an equality between the man and the woman, he has to stand up strong. You can't stand up strong alone, and that's been the problem. There used to be a time where women, back in the 30s and 40s, they would look for men, let's say, that things didn't work out with their husbands or the children's father and they didn't have a father. They would look for men to marry, even if they weren't all that attracted to these men, even if they wasn't really feeling it. They just wanted a strong man to be a role model for their son if they had sons. They wanted a strong man in their life because they knew they couldn't raise boys. They knew the boys wouldn't listen to them once they got to be a certain age. So they looked for father figures for their children. Not so today. Black women, because of the women's lib movement and the 60s and all that madness that pulled black women into that, felt that they didn't have to have a man in their life to raise males or young boys into men. Right? They said they can do it on their own. And Chris Rock said the funniest thing. He said, yeah, you can do it, but is it to be done? is it to be done that you should raise or try to raise a black boy into a man? Many have tried, and many have failed. This is why we have the situation we have today with black males. This is why we have the situation of black men falling out of existence and being replaced with black males. Those who are anatomically correct but mentally wrong. Those who are anatomically correct, meaning they have the penises and the testicles, that don't make you a man. You understand? Being able to make babies and lay up and whatnot and fight, that don't make you a man. What makes you a man is what you stand for, what you stand on, how strong you stand for, and standing up for what's right. Not standing up for stupidity, because the average black male, like I said, I'm not going to insult the real black men out here. I'm not going to call every black male a man. You understand? I'm not going to insult them, because there are some black men out here, young black men too, who stand up for something strong, but the majority are black males. Majority, even some of you black males who have been raised by fathers who had your fathers around, some of them were black males. So you have black males raising up black males, and a lot of times you black women don't know the difference between a black male and a black man. That's another reason why a man is necessary, a real man is necessary in the equation, or for you to be with, not just for your son, but also for your daughters. Also for your daughters, so she can see what a real man looks like, instead of seeing all the males that mommy traipses in and out of her goddamn bedroom. You understand? In and out of her house, because those are a bunch of males in and out. You understand? She grows up looking at that. So she gets a guy when she's 16, 17 years old, with his pants falling off his ass, his boxers showing, smoking weed, some nigga on the corner. Next thing you know, she pregnant. Because she don't know the difference. She think that's a man. She really believes that. She believes that that's what she has to choose from. That's the definition of a man. She don't know the difference between a man and a male. So when she sees or she runs into a man, she doesn't know how to relate to that. She doesn't understand that, because she has nobody to refer to. It doesn't register with her. So then she thinks that she's turned on and that she likes those type of people. Cartoon characters. That's what I refer to them as. These black males today, cartoon characters. You understand? Being bred partially by these women. You get angry and you get upset, but you, in your anger, in your rage, in your thing to disprove me and say that I'm wrong, and talking about starting them off with letting their hair grow out and braiding their hair and making them pretty, or because you like their long hair, putting earrings in their ear, that you're helping to effeminize them in a society that's looking to effeminize black boys in the beginning. They look to do that. The white man's been trying to do that since they got the damn black man off the ships, off the slave ships, effeminizing him, weakening him to make him workable, so that he can use him. Because you can't make a real man work for you. He'll take your head. You understand that? So you have to effeminize him. You have to make him afraid. You have to weaken him. And that's what's happening. And you black women, a lot of you are acting in concert with the white man, subconsciously, to weaken the black man, to turn him into a black male. Not blaming you. I understand you have to raise your sons. It's not your fault that you don't have, and then at some points it is your fault. Not going to totally blame the man. It's all about the men you choose. It's all about the men you choose to lay down with. It's all about the men you choose to have children with. Every man you lay down with is not the man you're supposed to have children with. You understand? There's no accidents. There's no mistakes. There's bad decisions and choices, but you can change them. You can correct them. It's possible. But you have to be willing to understand and admit that you've made mistakes. and that you're willing to change. That you're willing to change because it's necessary if you want to produce a man out of a male. If you want to turn your son's life around before it's too late. Because we have a bunch of emotional, feminine acting black males running back and forth here. And we're going to keep producing this, I don't even know what to call it, this Frankenstein monster that the black man is turned into, this effeminate Frankenstein monster, this mistake. We're going to keep making it if we don't acknowledge it. If we don't say, you know what, that is right. That is right and exact. I do play a part in that. A lot of people don't want to admit that they play a part in this dilemma, in this situation here, in this problem that we have with black men. This is why our people are in the problems that they're in today. That's why we can't establish anything amongst black people, because black men or black males are the problem. The disrespect, the anger issues, the mistrust, the weakness. You understand that? The over-emotional attitudes. This is the problem. We'll be right back. It is important at the beginning of a young man's life not to be weighed down by the energy of a woman. And what I mean by that is, when these young black men are reared by their mothers, they are like receptors. They are receiving your feminine energy because at a young age, they are receiving everything and taking in everything. They're seeing everything, they're watching everything. They're absorbing everything they see. Your mentality, your energy, your strengths, your everything you do, they're taking it in. They're taking it in from their mother. They're watching, they're taking it up like a sponge. And your energy is strong because you're a full-grown woman. And you're radiating that energy onto him. And it's effeminizing him. He's zapping your energy. He's pulling it in. It's making him into a female. Even like I said, even if these young black men don't engage in homosexuality later on in life, they still develop effeminate mentality. It comes out in everything they do. It always comes out in the wash because they didn't have that strong male foundation, that strong man foundation. Right? This is why black girls go out and they find males. Like I said, they're pulling in your energy. These males are pulling in your energy. So what do you do when you have black males running around with testosterone, natural testosterone in their body, and they're looking to be men? They're looking to prove themselves as men because they were looked at as mama's boys. They never wanted to be thought of as mama's boys. You know, they want to prove themselves because they have this rage and testosterone going through them. This man, this power going through them, this male power going through them. What do? How do they prove themselves to be men? You understand? This male hormone that's going through them is fighting with that feminine mentality they adopted from you, that they zapped in from you, that they pulled in from you. It's fighting with them, going crazy in them. They trying to prove themselves amongst their friends, amongst their peer group. What do they end up doing? End up selling drugs, carrying guns, committing crimes, smoking weed, all this stuff to prove amongst their peers that they're men, or what they think it is that men do. You understand that? Because they're trying to prove themselves. They don't know how to be men. They're at war with their emotions. They're at war with their rearing up from the woman, so they start to rebel against you. And you wonder why they rebel against you, black women. These young black men, your sons, rebel against you because that's that testosterone fighting with them and that mindset you implanted in them. It's in war with each other. They're at war with each other. You understand that? It's at war in him. So he's trying to break out. He's trying to find his foundation as a man. So a lot of times, what does young black men do? They end up going. Some of them end up going to the army because they seek discipline. They seek some kind of male discipline, or they end up in prison. Right? They end up in prison because they seek some sort of structure. Because in prison, there's some sort of structure. You know, you told when to get up, you told when to go to sleep, you told when to eat. You know, things that you were supposed to be told as a child, things that were supposed to be set in stone in your head at the word of your father. You're looking, a lot of these black men go under authority, go into the penal system, go into the military, all these things because they're seeking authority that they didn't get as young boys. That's why they get put under authority as men or as males. They're seeking that. And that happens. This has to stop. This has to be stopped early. A lot of black men who grow up and they wearing these long hairstyles, they wearing the earrings. They're actually emulating women. They're emulating mothers. They're the ones that reared you. I mean, it does make sense that if you have the foundation of a strong man as your father and you're emulating your father, who are you going to emulate as your foundation if you were raised by a woman? You're going to emulate a woman. Especially if a woman, say you have a male in the house and a woman, and the woman is stronger than the man, and the woman is browbeating the man, who is the son going to look to? Whose energy is he going to take on? He's going to take on the strongest energy. He's going to take on the woman's energy. Right? It comes out in his look. You think it's natural, or that it's like a lot of you black women think it's natural to have a man sitting and having his hair done. You think there's nothing wrong with that. Right? You think there's nothing wrong with a man putting 2 earrings in his ear because this society said it was okay. Okay? We would have thought that was crazy 40, 50 years ago. Black men got haircuts. Women wore their hair long or short, whatever, dictates. But for a man to wear his hair long, to sit somewhere for 20 to 30 minutes or an hour, whatever, how long it takes to get his hair done, is effeminate. That's what women do. Men are always supposed to be in a warrior spirit, in a warrior mentality. And I don't mean always fighting and things like that. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about in a way to defend himself, he would keep his hair at a length, whereas it couldn't be used as a weapon against him. A man who grows his hair long is not in a warrior mentality. It's not in a state to defend himself, because your hair can be used as a weapon against you. You could be in a fight and a man will pull your hair all over the place and use you as a human slingshot. I've seen it. I've seen dreads. I've seen guys with braids and fights, and they got their hair ripped out. They got the hell beat out of them because, like I said, they weren't in that warrior mentality. They had their hair free and flowing, and you thought that was masculine. Yet he's taking up maritime, getting his hair done, spending $30, $40 to get his hair braided and done down. And a lot of black men won't agree with that. A lot of black women won't agree with that because you want that whole flowing hair mentality and whatnot, which y'all really got from the white man. You understand? From the 60s when he went into that whole hippie movement of the flowing hair and whatnot. Because the black man's hair is not supposed to flow. Our hair grows up. Our hair is not supposed to fall down over our shoulders. Our hair grows up naturally. So if you're forcing it down against nature, there's something wrong. That's not natural. Yet this mentality that's getting implanted in black men to produce black males isn't natural either. 2 earrings in the ear. We talk this nonsense about, it's an African thing and, the African this and Africa this and Africa that. 20, 30 years ago, we would have been like, hell no. But see how things gradually go? It always starts off with one black man with an earring in his ear. And these people, in the entertainment industry that do it, they're planted there systematically. plant it there. Put an earring in your ear. You'll have other black men follow. Put a Jesus piece on, a white Jesus piece on the rappers. You niggas will follow it. You understand? You're upholding the image of another man. So what's the statement that you're making when you upholding the image of a white man? You're putting on a Jesus Christ picture. You're saying that he's the man and that you worship him, thus making you the male. You're not the real man. You understand that? And you let these rappers put that in your heads. Why? Because they got a male mentality. They're not real men. These guys that put that image on, Kanye and all of them, they're not real men. Look and check it out. Was not Kanye raised by his mother? I said Kanye, a.k.a. Kanye. Was he not raised by his mother? So, of course, that nigga don't stand for nothing. He'll put on a white Jesus piece. Jigga Man, all of them, wasn't he raised by his mother? Notice the pattern here. Notice that these people that sell out who ain't about nothing, they didn't have any strong men in their lives. They had their mothers. And what were their mothers driven by? What is the woman driven by? 9 times out of 10, my money. She's driven by material possession. So if she's driven by material possession, what are these niggas driven by? Material possession. That's what they sell out for, ain't it? That's why they'll put on the Jesus piece and put on 2 earrings in their ear, right? No, but they ain't effeminate, right? No. They not promoting that effeminate nature in you, right? And your sons. They not being put out in front with 2 earrings on and white Jesus and whatnot and long hair down their shoulders to promote that, Lil Wayne and them. No, they not being put out to promote that to your sons, right? With tight ass pants on, women's pants, unisex pants. No. That's not real. Y'all and you black women, y'all not aiding in that. I'm not blaming you black women. I'm not blaming you. You do things subconsciously. You don't know what you're doing a lot of times. You don't realize what it is you're doing because the majority of our people are not thinking. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You know? My father raised men. I'm going to say it again. My father raised men. He didn't raise males because he was a man. His father was a man. Now you got this generation here who didn't have fathers. They're males. You understand that? They're males, and they're going to raise males. And your daughters are going to lay down with males. They're not going to lay down with men. They'd be lucky if they see a real man in their lifetime. You understand? A real man that stands for something. You know, I get it all the time because a lot of the brothers that's coming in the state of mental, some of them wasn't raised by their father. And they'll be the first ones to tell me, you know, I don't know what it is to see a strong man figure. So when they look to me and they see that in me, I'm not saying that they don't have it somewhere buried deep in them because they had their father, some of them had it for a little time, and I'm not saying that that can't be developed in the black male to turn him to a black man, but they look at me and I say I got it in me because I had my father there. I don't know what the hell I would have been or what I would have took in if I didn't have my father. There used to be a time where the black men, they didn't try to raise their daughters. Like, say, if they was widowed, they went and got a woman. They went and got a wife because they knew a woman has to raise another woman. He don't know nothing about raising no woman. He don't know how to raise a female into a woman, a girl into a woman. He don't know how to do that. Y'all know how to do that. I.e., same way. You have to have a father to raise a boy into a man. I guarantee you look at all these black entertainers, and I wouldn't be surprised if the damn beast chose them because they didn't have fathers. You look at all these black entertainers, and I bet you the majority of them, they didn't have any fathers. So the beast becomes their father. He advises them. He tells them, hey, come here, you know, put the Jesus piece on, you know, wear the 2 earrings, you know, he know what he's doing. It's all done to effeminate. You know, it's all done to make you effeminate. It's a program. You black men stand for nothing, or you black males stand for nothing. If you ever shake you know what? Try something. Shake hands with a young black man today, or a young black male today. See how limp the damn handshake is. See how weak it is. See how, look in his eyes and see how weak his mind is. See how weak his spine is. Let's see how he doesn't stand up straight like a man. You can see it. You can see it. That's bred in him. See how unchecked his emotions are. You understand that? See how out of control he is. Always wanting to fight. Always wanting to kill, shoot, stab. You understand? He's at war with himself. Didn't have a father. We used to, like I said, these black men today, they'd be like, damn, these young boys, they'll say these young boys be ready to fight, be ready to kill each other in a heartbeat. Nobody knuckle up anymore. You know, these young black men can't even fight no more. They don't even know how to fight. They don't even know how to defend themselves. Watch some of these niggas in these gangs who they be shooting, they fighting in the projects. These simple-minded niggas fighting in the projects. Watch some of this where they acting like savages and they fighting in the street. Watch. They throwing haymakers. They don't know how to throw a punch like men. They don't know how to do nothing. That's only something a father could teach his son, how to defend himself. A mother can't teach his son that. You understand? They growing up in the gangs and whatnot, and they trying to find a father in the gangs or some sort of family structure in the gangs. They looking for a male. They looking for a male role model. You understand that? Because they want somebody to rear that testosterone in them. They want to be men. And a lot of times you black women hold them back. You understand that? A lot of times you holding them back because you mad at some man. Because you want to emasculate him because maybe his father, you understand, he was too hard on you or he didn't want to stick around. So you want to emasculate him to get back. Maybe he looked too much like his father. So now you mad at him. You want to punk him out. And that's what you end up doing. You understand? When you have your sons, it's no longer about you. You should be thinking about a father for your sons, a strong man that he can look to. I said to my sister, you know, the white man knows exactly what he's doing. You know, when he brings out Superman, he brings out all these white strong man images like Superman, Jesus Christ, or God is a white man. He does all this purposely so that his white sons could look at that image and see a man. You understand? A man in position, a man in authority, a man of power, so that their sons could grow up and be in that image. I'm going to show you something even deeper. And I look back at this movie, Spider-Man 2. In the movie, I think it was Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man, everybody thought Spider-Man died, right? And the black man, when they thought Spider-Man either died or he stopped saving people or something he stopped doing, the black man, and this was done purposely, and it was so beautiful because it got to show you how the white man is. The black man, when he thought Spider-Man died, he said, who is my son going to look up to now? Can you believe that? What white man wrote that for that nigga to say? And how much money did they pay this nigga to say that? Do you understand what that was, a program? Who is my son? Not you. He's not going to look up to you. Who? Not you, black man. Who is my son going to look up to now that Spider-Man is gone? A.K.A. now that the white man's gone, who's my son going to look up to? You understand the program behind that? A word, a picture is priceless in changing the mentality of people and altering the mentality of people. They started off doing that when they told you black women back in the day when you started getting public assistance, they told you the man couldn't be in the house. They knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing. They told you the man couldn't be in the house in order for you to get public assistance. You understand? Because they knew that the man kept order in the house. They knew that the man was strong and he kept order. So they wanted the man gone so that they can create chaos and disorder. So that your little boys can be reared by you alone, right? So therefore you create an effeminate nature in them. Even goes back to slavery, where the slave master didn't let the little boys be with the father. Sometimes they kept them with the mother, or they made the little boys go inside the house and work for the master, where he molested the hell out of them and made them effeminate, thus creating manservants or butlers. That's what you got now. That's what you got now. When you got these black men walking around here with their pants hanging down, their ass hanging out, showing their underwear. That's males. That's males. And you black men that don't, well, you know, y'all sit here and y'all look at that and y'all act like that's normal. That's normal. They walking around with their pants down. That's a sign no father's there. No father. And if there is a father there, he's not a real man. He's a male. That's reality. We're going to take a call. 216. 216, you're on the air.
Peace be unto you, bro.
Peace, brother.
Peace be unto you, brother. This is Brother Ali.
All right, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, brother.
Okay.
And I was listening. I was listening to your teachings, man, and I just wanted to tell you that. Well, I'm also Righteous Thought in the chat room too. But,
okay.
It does. It adds up, brother. It's right and exact, And I've been telling people this for years, man. There is no such thing as somebody being born a faggot. These are circumstances that surround children, in their development early in life. But people refuse to believe that because it's easier to just put the blame on some unknown force, and relieve the parents of the responsibility, And then, plus too, it plays out in life in the future. Because not only are they faggots growing up as little boys, they're so sweet and tender, and some of them are violent, like you said, too, but once they get older, they don't know how to stand up like a man. They run out, and they want to go work for another man. They rather work for their enemy. They want to work for the man that calls you a nigga. You want to be on his job. Instead of getting a lawnmower, get a rake, or get a paintbrush and create a job for yourself. That's what real men do. A man doesn't go and run and beg another man to employ him, or go and support a government, that is against you. But because of the fact that you're spineless and weak, well, I'll just vote anyway, or I'll just go along with it, Just like with the Obama thing, instead of black men standing up and making Obama responsible, black men just go along with it because they're weak. They won't even make their own responsible to stand up and be strong as they should be. So you're absolutely right, brother. I mean, this goes deep, deep, deep.
Well, let me say this. They didn't have, a lot of times, these black males, they didn't have black men to show them all the things you said. That has to be developed in a man. You have to have your father there. You need your father. And as far as being born gay, that is a phenomenon that has taken place. Now, the reason why I say that is because a lot of these black women, y'all run down to the prenatal care and, these clinics and things like that, and they're injecting your children with estrogen shots and injecting your daughter with testosterone. And they're creating a chemical imbalance in your children that's producing homosexual natures in them. That's real, because it's all that's all part of population control. That's real. That's why you see these young black men. That's why you see these young black men, when they hit a certain age of puberty, they developing breasts. You understand? Young girls with no hips. They shaped like boys. So they've been, for the most part, for the last 20 to 25 years, they've been using the young black women as science experiments. And the Planned Parenthood, they're part of it. They part of this conspiracy, and it's real. You go look on. There was a documentary that's called The Black Holocaust. And the Planned Parenthood, the whole thing was to slow down the population of black people. And this is, like I said, this is real. So they figured the best way to do it is by inducing a homosexual genetic in the next generation. So therefore, the girls don't want the guys no more, and vice versa. There's no children.
You know what? You're absolutely right about that. I probably should have explained myself a little bit better about that, because I didn't take that into consideration, that, yes, they are practicing, chemical warfare, even in the womb of the woman. I think I should have explained it better as to say, well, for us just to leave, the burden on the universe, like the universe creates homosexuals. That's not the case, but you're right. They are going inside the womb and making it so that when a child hits the planet, there is an imbalance. You're absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, that's real. That is real. Very real. So, I mean, it's a phenomenon that's taking place, amongst the people and whatnot. Like I said, our people are not really paying attention. They're not paying attention to what's going on. Like I said, but we, the black woman and the black man have to take responsibility for this.
Right.
They have to take responsibility for this. And enough of our people don't really see it as a problem. They don't really see, like I said, a lot, the things that took place, with this the pants sag and all of this stuff, this is not men. Like I said, our people are good. They quick to complain about something, but they don't necessarily want to change their ways and their actions and what they're doing to contribute to this. So it's only going to be the few people that are going to take heed to this and really take it in and listen and whatnot. Because, like I said, whenever something points at our people, we the first ones to be like, "Oh, not me," or "Oh, I don't agree just because I don't like it." They take it personal instead of looking at the logic behind it and walking straight through it. How we just basically trying to walk through it and show you, how this takes place and how this occurs with this, problem of effeminizing black boys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's, and the other point that you had made too, somehow or another, I mean, the teaching has to be put out there to these women too. We have to start teaching our sisters what a real man is, and showing them what a real man is, so they can these young women can make wise choices when they are starting to choose men in their lives, so that they can create families. They'll know how to go out and pick out a righteous man, a real man, a boy that's been raised correctly. But this starts with the teaching, though. We've got to teach them, because it's not going to happen, by magic.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a realist, and realistically, that's not going to happen with the majority of the black race, because the majority of our people today, they just like the white man. They see nothing wrong with black boys walking around with their pants hanging off their ass. They see no problem with that. They see no problem with black boys, they boxers showing fighting. They just disconnected. They just like a bunch of colored white people. So, they just carbon copies of white people. I see it every day when I walk the streets, how our people are so disconnected from what's going on here. So that's not going to happen with the majority of our people. What's needed in the evolution of our people, and I always acknowledge this, is that this society, when we're talking about the state of mental, the SOM.info, 42 years old and down, when we start doing the Supermen, Superwomen project, we talk about creating a society for black men and black women 42 years and younger, because we need our own nation of Islam, just without the Islam. We need our own masonry without the masonry. In other words, we need our own brotherhood and sisterhood of new society, new organization, new movement, something created for us to bring back the men and bring back the women, to bring them forward into the new millennium. We can't have it from the people of the old world, because you all developed on your own as time went on. So we have to develop and become new people and come out of the madness that we were in. So this is why we were advocating that in the Supermen, Superwomen project that we're starting here in New York City, teaching and making better black men, or real black men out of black males, and real black women out of these black females. Because even it's a problem with the so-called black female now, the young black girls, they turn into female. They're not real women. They're not real women. Back in the old days under the Nation of Islam, that's one thing I liked about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You had the sisters in the MGT teaching the women how to be women. And the brothers were teaching the men. There was a brotherhood there. You have to have a brotherhood, because we came away from that whole mentality of it takes a nation, or it takes a tribe. It takes a tribe to raise a one boy. I forget how that saying goes, but it takes a group to raise one boy. So they have to see that. We understood that it's a collective effort. It can't be a bunch of people with different philosophies and ideologies, because a lot of our people don't really think there's nothing wrong. That's the problem. A lot of our people have no problem with what's going on. They walking around with their head in the goddamn clouds. They just out here walking through the filth every day, and they're not trying to clean anything up. They don't want to be responsible for anything. So like I said, it's only going to be a small group. So you have to start with a small group that are willing to invest in that and put their energy into a project like this, because we told the people, even if you have children, let's say you over 42 years old, and even if you have children in their 20s and 30s, we said send them to the Supermen, Superwomen project, because it's all about making better men and better women. We need our own Nation of Islam. We need a movement of in this age and in this time frame, to rear our people into, and rear young men and real women so that they can move forward in the new generation. You shouldn't be worried about whether it includes you or not. Y'all okay? Y'all had your time. It has to be time for this younger generation to come up and correct the mistakes that was made in raising them. We have to correct it in ourselves.
Do you think that while you're running this project, now this Superman project, or let's not even talk about the project. Let's just keep it real general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as reaching these people that are 42 and under. Now, you know, me myself personally, I don't find any message that will, well, the message that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave, you know, which was the black man is the original man. He is the God of the universe. There is no mystery God. We are that.
Okay.
You know, and that has to be a foundation for us. If we can't start there and realize that we don't even know who we are in the universe, we'll never figure out what to do here on this planet.
Exactly.
You know, that's the thing with our people. You know, trying to get black people on that page, though, is difficult because they don't want, they see it as disrespectful, you know, because they're so full of that religious shit that they're full of. You know, that religion has consumed them. I'm not talking about just Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Mm-hmm. All of them. They have consumed our people and have destroyed their minds. So we have to get them back on that first thought, that stage one again, you know, which is, hey, you are the God, and the goddess is here. There is nothing before you.
Exactly.
Right, go ahead.
That's what we were saying in the State of Mental. Everything you said, that's exactly what the page we on. That is dealing with the God of the universe, the goddess of the universe, and moving our people ahead mentally, but you have to affect them mentally, and you have to bring about that change in them first and foremost, where they're thinking at. That's why I said go to the SOM.info, see the State of Mental project, because the Supermen, Superwomen project is actually short for the Super Mental Projection. That's actually short for that, and that the whole thing is bringing about and rearing up that God race of men and new women. So, yeah, we are, you know, that is in the foundation of anything we do, that God race, raising that up. But like I said, the majority of our people, we already know they're not going to be with that. They're not for this. The majority of our people, they got their head in the days and the clouds and religion, you know, and philosophy. They caught up. They don't know which way they don't know. They don't know. There's no real reason for them to exist. The majority of them, they don't serve no purpose. So, you know, we only talking to those ones of our people who have an understanding that this is important, that we are trying to move on and we are trying to clean ourselves up. You know, we trying to do this, you know, and a lot of our own people will fight against it. They will sacrifice their children to this society just because they're selfish, because they don't understand, they don't get it, they don't see the need, or they don't seem to understand the need for this. It's dire now because, like I said, our children, the black race in whole, our people are dying, man. You see it. Mentally and physically. They dying. Our people are becoming like a damn, like, you know, they becoming like damn near extinct out here. The young black boy, you see young white kids, East Indians, Asians, like they going to college, becoming doctors, things like that. What is the young black man doing? When you say, you know, you think about the image of a young black man or a young black male, you see somebody with their pants hanging off their ass, getting high all the time, because that's promoted in this American pop culture with the young black man. He always smoking some weed. He always standing around with his pants hanging off his ass. He always talking about a bunch of stupidity. You know, his mind is on nothing. So that's the mentality. That's that effeminate nature that's being bred in him. Whereas the white man and his people, they teaching their sons to be strong, to be the leaders of tomorrow. You know, that's not being taught with our people. That's not being taught. That's not being taught to further the race and further that. Because, like I said, the black man and the black woman, you know, of the last millennium, they have a disconnect with this whole future mindset. They're disconnected. So we reaching out to those of our people who are future-minded, not historically minded, but future-minded. That's what we reaching out for, the people who can see the bigger picture.
Right.
All right.
That adds up, brother. That adds up totally.
Well, Supermen, Superwomen Project, New York City, May 20th. You can give us a call. You know, if you're in the New York City area, send your sons, send your daughters, 347-465-3602. Send them out, and like I said, we'll we'll start from there because, like I said, it's all about the evolution of our people. A lot of our people are not interested. A lot of our people have their head in the clouds. They're not interested. It's just about a bunch of foolishness now. But like I said, in light of that, those are the people that are going to die out. Those are the people who are not going to, they can't see the bigger picture, see the future because, truth be told, they don't really exist in the future. So,
right.
All right. So, any other comments you want to make, brother?
Oh no, brother, that's it. You go on with your class, man. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good speaking to you, brother.
All right.
Anyone wants to call in? If not, I'm going to play a little bit of music. I need to get my music on a little bit, just a little something. Nerubi Salah, I am living math. I'm going to say something. There's a reason why it's said in the Bible, and I'll just go to the Bible for a second. It said in the last day that 7 women are going to take hold of one man, right? And I only use this because that's, I believe it's in Revelation. That's a prophecy. Some of you black women are going to get it when you're going to start to realize that as you want children, it's going to be just like it was in the old days where, you had 1 man to 7 women because there are no men here. You're not going to want to lay down. As you start to listen to this, you're going to start to realize the difference between the males and the men. You women even you young women are starting to wake up. You see the difference. You understand? You'll start to see the difference between the males and the men. You women who already have children, you're going to opt for polygamy. Why? Because there are very few men out here for you to raise your children, to have a role model for your sons to look to teach them how to be men, real men, not males, real men. You're going to look to that. You're going to look back and look at these guys you laid down with and these guys who claim to be men, and you're going to take one hard look at these men or these males, and you're going to realize, shoot, I mix my genetics, I mix my seed with a male, a mangina, an effeminate. You're going to think about that. This was going in my son. You're going, what the hell am I? I better run out and get me a real man, even if he got to be older. I better do this. You understand? I need that instilled. And a lot of, there used to be a time where black girls looked for men who were like their fathers. So, again, if there was no father for them to see, they grew up looking at TV and things like that, and then they run out and they go get white men because they saw the white man as an authority figure. So he's the man to them, right? They see you simple-minded niggas running around wearing white Jesus piece on your neck. You worshiping the image of the beast. So he's the man. Then you wonder why our sister's going to being with the white man. You understand? How about because you holding the white man up as God instead of your image? How about because you always sitting around here blaming the white man, calling him the devil, yet the devil, for all the devils you call him, at least he's doing his job. What are you black men doing? And you claim to be God. How are you being gods? What are you doing? Are you doing your job as God, except other than beating on your goddamn chest and proclaiming to be God, but then you going to work for the white man? Or are you sitting up here under his authority? You black men can't even get it together to raise your sons into men. You can't even do that. You understand? Then you want to get mad when somebody like the intellectual says it and he points it out. You got these simple-minded niggas in the conscious community talking about this is what's being bred in the so-called conscious community, that black men or men should be able to breastfeed. I'm not even going to blame the nigga that said that nonsense, that madness. Only an effeminate would say something like that. Only somebody that was raised by a male would say something like that. You understand? Only an effeminate man or an effeminate male would say something like that. See, because these effeminates start promoting homosexuality. These effeminate men who you black men think are real men, these effeminate males, these thugged out niggas the bad boys that you think is so bad, they males. They going so hard because they trying to prove something. They trying to hide something. They your homo thugs. These are the guys who didn't have a father. These are the guys, like I said, who fighting against something in themselves. You understand that? They got all the respect for the white man because in their eyes, he's the man. You understand? He's the man. They are the males. They do what he says. It has worked. You can't find any strong black men. You're gonna be hard pressed to find a strong black man amongst the 40 and the 30-year-olds today. You're gonna be hard pressed because that feminine nature always leaks out of these guys. It always comes out in some way in their mentality towards you and their over emotional nonsense. Their unwillingness to step up and be men and take care of their children. All that is an effeminate man. Spoiled. Mama's boy. Playing in his hair. Braiding his hair. Letting his mother watch his children. You understand? He's a child. That movie Baby Boy was hitting it right on the head. What was Baby Boy? Baby Boy was raised by his mother. Right? That's why he run around getting these girls pregnant, not taking care of his children, not being a man because he didn't know how. Then when Ving Rhames' character came in and was a man over him, he didn't know. It was a conflict there. See, she brought Ving Rhames in too late. She should have brought him in 10 years ago when her son was 12, 13 years. She should have met him 10 years ago. You understand? Then he would have had a man's hand. A boy needs a man's hand to rear him. I was fortunate enough to have a man's hand rear me. I needed that. Hell, I would have ran all over my mother. You understand? You can't control boys. You can't. They're not going to listen to you. You understand that? They're going to rebel. You have to have a man raise your boys. He has to bond with them. I said I bonded with my father when he took us to get our haircuts. Man things. You see the males in the pack. I believe it was the lions. They, the father took the pack out, the males out. I believe that's in the beginning. But a boy learns how to be a man from his father. He learns how to be a male from his mother. I'm going to say that one more time. A boy learns how to be a man from his father. He learns how to be a male from his mother. And you are responsible for producing males. Unconsciously, you black women. Stop braiding their hair. Stop letting their hair grow long. Stop putting earrings in their ear. Stop with these effeminate colors. Stop bringing males around them. Bring a real man around your son. Let him see what a real man looks like. Bring a real man who ain't trying to molest your goddamn daughter around. Stop running niggas in and out of your house, letting them see you with every kind of man or every kind of male. You understand? You black women who have children, the only thing on your mind should be finding a strong man. That should be the only thing on your mind in your next encounter with a man. Not looking for no goddamn boyfriend. Not looking for no jump off. You understand? Them days is over. You should not be just thinking about yourself no more. You should be looking for a man that your children, your sons could look up to as a man. Because a lot of these guys out here that's molesting the kids, a lot of these guys out here that's molesting the kids and molesting your daughters or molest your sons, they are males. They're males. They're not men. They wasn't raised by men. They males. They probably was reared up in the church in the goddamn choir because you sent your sons there in the church and you was, kind of looking for some father figures there in the choir, and when you sent them there, you was sacrificing your sons. You understand? To get turned out by a group of effeminates. You understand? By a group of effeminates singing in the choir. Bunch of homos. You expose them to that. You expose them to this society. They don't know which way to go. That's real. Stop doing this. Stop doing it. Stop being proud. You understand that? Because you know, there's no pride. There's no prize in just admitting that you're wrong and turning around and doing something right. It ain't how you fall, it's how you get up. You know, people fall all the time. People make mistakes all the time. Correct your mistakes. I said this is not going to be corrected amongst the black race. This problem is not going to be corrected, but it can be corrected amongst the elect of the black race, the ones of our people who are going to take heed to this message. Support the Supermen, Superwomen project because that's what we gave an answer to. That's our answer to the problem of our people of effeminate black males. That's our answer. I said I'm always going to give an answer. I'm always going to give a solution. I'm never going to sit up here and talk about the problem like certain people do and talk it to death into the ground without giving a solution. The Supermen, Superwomen project. Go to the SOM.info. Come up to my we're gonna put it on the SOM.info. It's in the chat room. That's the State of Mentel's official site. We're doing the Supermen, Superwoman project in New York City. 347-465-3602. We'll eventually get to your city. Support this project. You understand that? We leaving behind a lot of things because you know it's drastic right now. It's drastic right now. This is about the future of black men and black women. See, we look 10 and 20 years and 30 and even beyond that down the line. We're not just thinking about now like the majority of the black race is doing or the past where they keep talking about Christianity and Islam and Judaism and metaphysics and all that nonsense. You understand? Their heads is in the clouds, so they can't see what's going on right now. That's not going to help our people. That's not going to produce black men or black women. That's going to just sit up here and produce while you put your energy into the church, into Jesus Christ, and all these abstract figures, and all this religious rant, your children are looking at Lil Wayne as their God. They're looking at a bunch of effeminate black men who was raised by mothers who carry it out in their nature. You can see it in their nature if you're paying attention that they was raised by women to be effeminates. The beast searches for these kind of guys. You black men that are walking around here thinking you manly with your pants hanging off your ass. I got a message for you. You will see the inside of a penitentiary one way or the other because that's what's being bred in this culture too, a criminal mentality. You understand? Because who are the people that expose you to selling drugs and robbery and all this stuff, the crime that you black men, the hustling that you black men are doing? You go and you look to older black men who was on the block, older guys who were a few years older than you who were hustling on the block. So they create that chain amongst you, got you selling drugs, got you out in the street, then eventually you get arrested. You think you bad. You end up in penitentiary. You end up around a bunch of predators. You don't know how to handle yourself because when you end up in that situation, you don't know how to defend yourself. You ain't got no gun no more. You got your pants hanging out. You scared. You ain't got your gang affiliates no more. Ain't nobody a gang in jail, not really. You got old predators there who recognize that you didn't have a father. They could see the weakness in you. They could see the effeminate in you black men, you black so-called thugs. You guys get turned out. You got guys like Fleece Johnson. I know y'all seen that video. It's famous with the old guy, the old booty bandit from jail. That's what they call them. The guys who rape young guys who come in there with their pants sagging. He said, I think they sexy as hell. That's what's waiting for you young black men in prison who like to sag your pants and have your ass hanging out. You know, you got them hanging below your butt. Something wrong with y'all. That's that effeminate nature. And you have simple-minded old black men sitting up there talking, oh, well, if they want to wear their pants down, that's okay. Really? Really? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The fact that you young black girls would even think about, or the fact that you black women would allow your daughters to bring home somebody like that is sickening. Your sons walk around you like that. That's sickening. That you would be okay with that. You understand that? That you would be okay with that. Your son's walking around in the mirror trying to be pretty now, wearing tight pants, fit, unisex pants. You understand? That's what's being bred here. How do you produce men? You don't. You don't. You don't produce any men. You don't produce a strong bloodline. There is no more hell. There ain't going to be no more bloodline. Your population starts to lessen. You understand that? You start to fade away. You aid in your own extinction because you think what you're doing is harmless. You don't see the bigger picture and you braiding his hair. You don't see the bigger picture and you putting just one earring in his ear. I don't know what he talking about. I'm just going to put one earring in his ear. Who ain't he talking? I ain't going to make my son gay. He ain't going to be no effeminate. Oh, yeah? Well, all these black women thought about that. Now look at what you got, a generation of them. You understand? You ain't gotta be a homosexual to be an effeminate. I said you ain't gotta be a homosexual to be effeminate. You ain't gotta engage in no gay sex. But it's just that you might as well, if you got that mentality, you might as well be. You understand? If you're gonna leave behind the next generation, you're gonna leave behind a bunch of babies, and when the black woman, your daughter, is sitting up here pregnant by one of these little monsters, these little effeminates. She's sitting there with a baby in her stomach, and he's somewhere smoked out his goddamn mind on some weed that's been sprayed with some damn Dow chemicals. You understand? With some embalming fluid, he bogged down his mind with his pants hanging down. He's spitting in the street, arguing, looking like he about to die. This is what's in your child. This is your next bloodline. You understand? But you still dense. You don't see the problem with that. You black people that's even living around these people should be disgusted. See, this is why we said and we advocated, and I said that the Nation of Islam was necessary back then. We need another Nation of Islam. We need a new Ansar Allah community. We need that, and we doing that in the state of Mentel without the Islam, though. We doing that. We got to separate from the black race, those of our people who are intelligent, who are thinking. Do you really want to raise your children around these goddamn effeminates? Do you want your son coming out like this? Do you want your daughters being impregnated by these little niggas? Do you want that? I don't have this illusion in my head of trying to, help all of the black race. No, I'm not here to help the black race. The black race is finished. They beyond help. I told you, the majority of our people are just like the white man. Y'all just a bunch of shaded versions of the white man. You can go out amongst black people and you can see how they talk, their concerns, their mentality. So like I said, they heads is in the clouds when it comes to talk like this. They not even listening. I had these simple-minded niggas on Facebook. They talking about some stupidity. You understand? They tuned into nonsense. They talking about watching George Zimmerman, some stupidity. They just want to be. Being black and black concerns is just like a hobby to them. They not serious. Or they, like I said, they tuned into that whole white mindset. They'll be the ones to be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with being gay. They don't have no problem with that. They'll march in the gay parade. They with the white man. So you got to separate. You don't want your children raised up amongst these people. They need a strong sense of self. What are you willing to sacrifice for your bloodline? What are you willing to sacrifice to see your sons being raised into men? What are you willing to sacrifice to see your daughters raised into real women, strong women? Women who wouldn't lay down and spread their legs for some nigga with his pants hanging off his ass. I'm talking real about it. I'm real. I don't care if you don't like the way I said it. It's real. Some weed-smoked nigga. You understand? Talking about nothing. Can't even keep his thoughts straight. You understand? What would you give? What would you be willing to sacrifice? Would you be willing to sacrifice your religion? Your beliefs from the last millennium? Would you be willing to sacrifice that all to create a new foundation, a new community, a new society? That's what we advocate in the state of mental. I said, I'm not going to get on these goddamn airwaves no more and just be talking about the problem without giving a solution. The solution is complete and total separation from the goddamn black race. I said it. Within the state of mental. That's what I'm saying. I'm advocating that. The black race is poisoned. They're poisoned. They're sick. You understand that? They have to be quarantined. They have to be quarantined because this is what's being produced amongst your sons. Don't sit here and just listen to what I'm saying. Act on it. And see, the majority of our people, a lot of you in your 50s and your 60s and whatnot, a lot of you all, you won't act on this. You won't help to foster the state of mental and build the state of mental. Go to the som.info. It's in the chat room. Sister up there putting it up there. You know, the About Us section. See what we advocate and help us build this community. Help us build these communities, this new society. Same with the Jews separated from the white race, and they created their own communities within the society. This is what's going to have to happen. This is what we're going to do within the state of mental as the mentalists. We're separating from the black race. The hell with the black race. I said it. They poison. I don't care if these niggas are conscious. I don't care if they talking about Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Moorish science. I don't give a damn. They not doing nothing about this problem. You understand? They got their head in the clouds. Or they got their head in politics. Or they trying to be like the white man. You understand? They not paying attention to this. Everything is okay with them. You understand that? See, with the Jews, they create their own world. That's why I say I love what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. I love what Dr. York did in creating the Ansar Allah community. They raised their children separate from the society. This radio broadcast is only for the dissatisfied. It ain't for people to get up here and hear me drop science and talk about the problem. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to give solution. I'm here to talk about the problem and give a solution. Complete and total separation from the black race. You understand that? Now a lot of our people say, well, how can you black, how can you separate from the black race? Mentally separate from the black race. Then physically separate from them. I don't want my son walking around with his pants hanging off his ass. I'm not raising my son like that. I don't want my son around people like that. I want him to look at them niggas like clowns. You understand? Fools. I don't want him to think that's normal. Neither should you. I don't want my daughter to think it's natural or normal to lay down with some nigga with his pants off his ass or to be pregnant at 14 years old. And neither should you. But see, that's okay in the black community. That's okay. Enough of you niggas, these niggas out there, they talk about like, oh yeah, it's a problem, but then you're not doing nothing about it because then your goddamn daughter come home that way or your son walking in the house with his pants off his ass. You understand that? Or he trying to sit around and get a goddamn record contract. He want to be an entertainer. You know? You understand that? He trying to be the next rapper. He don't want to stand up and be a man and go to school and be a master of his own. He don't want to be a doctor no more. He don't want to be. We advocating that in the state of mental. We advocating intelligence over ignorance. Majority of you black people stand up for ignorance today. So the hell with the black race. Because they stand up for ignorance and stupidity. I don't care if you niggas so-called educated. You still stand up for stupidity. Because you got your head up the white man's ass. You trying to act like him. You trying to be like him. You trying to talk like him. You're talking like this. You black men, these black males don't even have no goddamn bass in their voice no more. They're talking like this. They sound like the damn white man. They got high-pitched voices now. You understand that? They fight like girls. Overhand swings. You understand that? They walking around with damn Arab scarves on their necks like girls. Like women. You understand that? Don't tell me this is not something that this is not a plan to effeminize black men or black boys. But how you do that is you quarantine or you take out those are the people who are willing to listen to engage in this project. This super mental projection. This Superman project. This Superwoman project. You should be advocating this for the evolution of your children. Stop complaining about the problem if you're not willing to do anything about it. We was willing to do something about it. We put ourselves out there. We went out there, me and the brothers, we went out there looking for our people. We ain't here for the black race. The hell with the black race. We ain't interested in the 99%. Like I told you, we break the black race down with the rest of the world as part of the 99%. We're looking for that 1% because all it takes is a few. That's all it takes. All it takes is a few. Don't sit up here and complain about the problem. You right, brother. You should be trying to get us to come there. You should be getting the state of mental to come there. You should be going there trying to bring the Supermen, Superwomen project to your community. You shouldn't be sitting around in the goddamn conscious community going to see some niggas talk about nothing. You understand? And y'all getting entertained. Y'all paying $20 to get entertained while your children dying. You understand? Hearing somebody give up some speeches and whatnot and talk about the same junk, and y'all clapping because y'all got entertained like y'all went to the show. The show's over, man. The black race is over. When the hell y'all gonna wake up? When y'all gonna wake up? The smart ones of our people will. Effeminate black males. That's what you got to look forward to. Effeminate black males. We'll be right back. If they can put images up of black men kissing each other in train stations, what do you think that's doing when your sons who don't have fathers in their lives, if they can go and put those images up of young black men kissing each other, you understand? Being effeminate. If they could put those images up for your children to see, and it's in all over New York City, images of black men kissing each other, promoting homosexuality to your kids in school, and they don't. Then when they come home, they got you black women there, and they don't have anybody to, a man there, a strong man's voice to look to. What is that doing to the mind of these young black boys? What is that doing to them? You understand that? What do you think that's doing to them? We said we were going to, we took this pledge, a few brothers, we said we're going to, rear the next generation as men in the society. We said we're going to rear that next generation. We standing up. Young black men in their 40s and 30s, they standing up. It's a few, but more will come. You should be, even if you had to travel to New York City on the 20th for the for the Supermen, Superwomen Project, you should come here and support this, because we will be in your city next. You should be coming, asking, how can we get this in the city? How can we build a state of intel? How can we separate ourselves from the black race? Because the black race is finished. We ain't trying to save the black race. We're not trying to give this message to the black race, because the black race ain't going to listen. You can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't get them to think. That's a quote that was put on my Facebook, and I liked it. You can lead people to knowledge, but you can't get them to think, nor can you get them to act. Nor can you get them to change their lives. They'll go, oh, that's deep, or that's heavy, or yeah, brother, you right, brother. And then don't react. Don't do nothing. They just keep going on. Our people are professional complainers. Our people are professional complainers. How many of you are willing to stand up as men and help change this dynamic? See, because the majority of you black men, I don't care how much you talking about your religion, your philosophy, your metaphysics, your morals. Y'all in the 99 percentile, man. Y'all okay with what's going on. Y'all ain't doing nothing, man. Y'all still up here trying to beg the white man. Whether you begging him to obey some treaties, whether you begging him to accept some laws or give you some land. Look, we trying to fix ourselves. We ain't focused on asking the white man for a damn thing. We trying to fix ourselves. We trying to stand up as men and fix our stuff. Stop begging. You understand that? We're not sitting around waiting on God to come back and stand on the corner reading no goddamn Bible and talking about some old stuff that happened 50,000 years ago, 1,000, if it did happen, in fact, at all. We're trying to fix our problem right now and into the future, because only real men stand up and do that. Fake men, males, i.e. males, they hide behind the white man as an excuse. They hide behind the Bible. A lot of these angry-ass black men you see beefing about the white man all the time, or they beefing about the Bible. I bet you a lot of these black men, males, didn't grow up with fathers. Because if had they done this, they would be attracted to organizations and movements, which is really there are none, that's dealing with future, dealing with fixing our problem in the future. The only group that's dealing with that now is the state of Intel. We're the only ones that's a future group, because we were started in 2012. We're brand new. We're focused on the future. We're not interested in the past. We're not interested in Africa. We're not interested in Egypt. We're not talking about no metaphysics. We're not talking about no Islam, no Christianity, no Judaism. We're dealing with real things, the evolution of ourselves. You understand? God knowledge. Black men and black women evolving into gods and goddesses. Real. Not no fake talk, not no sitting around talking about it, or some black men trying to get in the black woman pants and just get whatever he can do, just some low nigga nonsense. Real. A real evolution taking place. And we working on that. And we looking for our people. It only takes a few. And those of our people who want this to happen, they'll make it happen with us. We're not looking to give individual solutions. We don't give individual solutions. I give a collective answer. Complete and total separation from the black race, because the black race is sick with this poison. The black woman is sick with this poison. You got black women eating bad diets, overweight, angry, got all kind of ignorant semen running through them. They got bad mentality. They got bad odor. So that comes out on their children. Mentality is messed up because of what they put in their body and who they allowed inside of their bodies. So that comes out on their children. They're poison. If you try to offer a solution to them, they going to tell you, get the hell out my face. Nigga, what you talking about? That's their answer to it. Poison. People who put poison inside themselves are going to bring poison out in their children. They're going to produce poison, i.e. the effeminate black man and the black woman, and the poisoned black woman today, the effeminate black male. That's what we're looking at. That's a reality. The black woman, because of her hate for whatever man or male she was dealing with, is taking it out on their children. You understand? They're taking it out subconsciously on their children. They're emasculating them subconsciously and purposely. You understand that? Can't happen with the people who decide to break off. We getting tired. You 99%ers, y'all making me sick. Every time I go out amongst you, you make me sick. I'm going to be honest with you. The majority of the black race makes me sick. You know? And I'm being real. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care how politically incorrect it sounds. You niggas make me sick. You understand? I'm not talking about you 1%, you intelligent ones. You're the only reason we come out here, and when we doing this Superman project we doing it for the intelligent ones of our people. Rest of you niggas, y'all can have a nice day, man. Y'all finished. We got to go out here in this filth every day to find our people, and we giving out cards, and we setting up, and we see black women walking by us, turning up their nose, and things like that, and black men with a simple-minded look on your face, i.e. your effeminate males, your effeminate black males. We done had effeminate black males roll their eyes at us when we gave them Superman cards about raising up the black men. You understand? They roll their eyes at us. Can you believe that? Effeminates. They rather be somewhere with their pants hanging down high with their boys, wrestling, touching each other, whatever they doing, whatever the hell they doing. They arms around each other, standing on the corner. That's what they want to do. That's what the black race has produced. That's what they've allowed to be produced. That's what they've let happen. That's the creature. That's the cancer that they let grow out of their community, their so-called black community. Because there's really no such thing as a black community. It's just a bunch of niggas living in close vicinity of each other in different cities. There's no black community. You understand? This is the monster. This is the cancer that has grown out of the so-called black community. Because of all these differences, because of all these different ideologies, because niggas got their heads in the clouds. So there has to be a change. There has to be a change in dynamic. The 1% have to come out. We're asking you of the 1% to come out. We're not talking to the black race. We're talking to our people who are intelligent enough to accept this message and act on this message. We don't blame the black race because we know they're ignorant. We know the majority of our people are ignorant. And we're not sitting around here blaming the white man no more. That's easy to blame the white man. You understand? That's easy to call and say he's the problem when we the real problem. You understand? That we the black people are the problem, not the white man. Because it takes two to tango. Somebody can introduce something to you, but it's up to you whether you accept it or not. You understand? Somebody can introduce poison to you, but it's up to you whether you accept it or not. Somebody can introduce drugs to you all day, but it's up to you if you weak-minded enough to accept it. If you weak-minded enough to smoke it, shoot it, snort it, that's on you. See, you can't destroy a community if the community is not looking to be destroyed. You understand that? You can't sell people into slavery if you don't have niggas helping them to do it. So the solution is even making black boys into effeminate males, black boys into effeminate males. You have to have black women that are willing to do that. You have to have some evil, sick, twisted black women out there that are willing to do that. That are willing, because they have hate for certain black males that they were dealing with. They willing to sacrifice their sons. They willing to emasculate their sons because they hate their sons. Deep down, they hate them. Deep down, they want to make them over in their image because they hate their fathers, the men that fathered them. So they want to make their boys over in their image and after their likeness. And that's what you black women are doing. Creating these effeminate boys. Now it's time to turn the boys to men. Now it's time to stand up. Leave these things, these old philosophies and beliefs behind. Those of our people who are future thinkers, those of our people who want to truly solve this problem, and come, State of Mentel, go to the SOM.info, see what we're doing with the Supermen, Superwoman project. You can call the number up there in the chat room. Sister put it up there because we trying to fix the situation. It's no more talking about the problem anymore. It's no more diagnosing the problem. It's no more talking around, no more dancing around it. We don't need to hear no nigga with a so-called PhD talking about the problem. We know what the problem is. I don't need a PhD to see that. I don't need that. We don't need the white man, some nigga that was educated by the white man, to tell us that. And I know some of you black people that, this guy calling himself the intellectual. Where'd he go to college at? Where'd he get educated? Nigga, I grew up around y'all. I don't need the white man to tell me what I'm seeing. I don't need no goddamn paper to tell me from him to tell me what I know I'm looking at. Just pay attention. All you gotta do is pay attention. Y'all don't pay attention because you got your head up in religion. You got your head up in your philosophy. You got your head clouded with weed smoke. You black women laying up, got all kind of, like I said, all kind of men you got to drain out of you, going all through you, all kind of negative energy going through you. You understand? You black men trying to get goddamn record deals or trying to get in somebody's pants that you don't even see what's going on. Your mind is all over the place. You understand that? That's what the problem is. That's why you can't effectively fix the problem or be part of the solution. You black men are the problem. You black males are the problem. You black females are the problem. But for the 1%, we're going to be the solution. We're coming to the end of the broadcast. If we got any questions, I'm taking calls. We're down to the last 10 minutes. Like I said, this was a special show. I got off to a slow start. I want to apologize. I really wasn't up to speed tonight. I'm usually, sharp and everything. We was promoting the Supermen, Superwomen project. This is, like I said, I'm going to start flashing up on future shows because we're going to be back on Monday at 9 p.m. We're going to talk further about the next topic is why black men really disrespect one another. Why we're disrespectful to one. I believe that's the topic for Monday. I got to look at the feed again because we program so much. And a new knowledge for black people, a new future knowledge for black people on Wednesday. And we're going to break down the whole Amen Ray thing and all the Allah. We're going to break all that down because we need to be focused on future knowledge. And I did a broadcast on future knowledge. The people who are not thinking about the future, the people that's caught in the past, we got to move on. You people 42 years old and younger, those born 1970 and after, you know what I'm talking about. Take your heads out of religion. Take your heads out of the ass of religion and the philosophy and things. Or the Moorish science. We got to move on. We don't have time for this. It's a waste of time. You got to be raising your sons to strong men. There's greater knowledge waiting on us, higher knowledge, advanced knowledge waiting on us if we clear out our minds and become blank. Like I said, blank out, clear out the mess, clear out the madness. What happens? I said this. What happens when your computer is loaded down with so much memory and all kinds of junk you put on it? It functions slower. It doesn't move as fast. That's how the mind works. That's how the black man and black women have been functioning in the society. We've been moving too goddamn slow. We are weighed down with way too much nonsense. Religion, philosophy, politics, all kinds of things, except for what's really important. That is our minds and future thought, advancing into the future. We can't take any of these old ways with us. We say clear out the minds of our people and start new. We have new knowledge to open our people up to. Knowledge that's dealing with logic, in chosen sense, not common sense. Knowledge that's going to advance our people in the knowledge of Mentellect. Yes, I'm always promoting the state of Mentel because the state of Mentel and Mentellect is the answer to the 1% of our people who are going to come out of the black race. I always advocate that. I'm not trying to give no middle ground. I'm not doing middle ground answers. I'm not sitting around here talking about the problem because, like I said, you people are caught in a rotation of, like I said, a lot of y'all are just professional complainers. Y'all like to complain, but you don't want the answer. I'm giving the answer right now. Separation from the black race. That's it. Within the state of Mentel as a new people. The knowledge of Mentellect for the chosen, the elect of our people. That's real. Help us build this community. Help us build communities all around the city, around the country, everywhere. Wherever you are, help us build a community, a state of Mentel community. Come and learn what the knowledge of Mentellect is about. Come to the Supermen, Superwomen Project. Help bring that out to your cities. You understand? We need this new knowledge. And be willing to empty out all the old things from the old millennium and receive this new knowledge. This knowledge of evolution. This knowledge of mental evolution. You understand? Higher knowledge, higher intelligence. Where we focused on future thought. Intelligence, vision, and ultra-standing. I'm going to say it again. Intelligence, vision, and ultra-standing, which is the new vision or the new focus for the 1% of our people, because we down to that right now. We down to 1%. And out of that 1%, a new people are going to come. Join us again, State of Mentel Radio on Monday, 9 p.m. Like I said, I believe it's the broadcast on why black men really disrespect one another. I believe that's the broadcast, but I'll let you know before the broadcast what the future show will be. And once again, I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. This has been a special State of Mentel Radio tonight. Like I said, I do apologize for last night. You know, technical difficulty. We don't usually broadcast on a Saturday, but I wanted to get this show, or this, should I say, this broadcast off. So I'm going to say to you good night. From State of Mentel Radio, I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. Again, see you Monday night at 9 p.m.